to begin right now. So I'm going to share with us again an overview of the training on DWAPI, basically a highlight of what is going to be covered by today's trainers. So just a moment as I share my screen. Please confirm you can see the screen.
Yes, we can.
Great. So,
yes.
So again, today is part 2 of a virtual training on KenyaEMR reporting, but now focusing on DWAPI configuration and navigation on Ubuntu platform. Same acknowledgement as of yesterday. We are still in partnership with NASCOP MOH, funded through the USG agencies. This particular training is provided through the courtesy of KenyaEMR project in partnership with our implementation partners and also with the users spread out through the various facilities. Okay, so objectives for today. Take notes, we expect at the end of this training that you should be able to explain how DWAPI works, should be able to describe the key components of a DWAPI setup with regard to the Ubuntu environment, should be able to describe how to configure DWAPI using the Docker container. This is our key focus for today. And number 4, that it should be able to configure and run DWAPI in the Ubuntu environment. And finally, on navigation and use of DWAPI, you should be able to carry out the common tasks of loading data from the EMR, validation, and then uploading to the national data warehouse. So in a summary, those are the objectives we intend to achieve. So what is DWAPI? I know most of us are familiar with this by now. DWAPI is basically data warehouse API tool developed by Palladium. The key function is to transmit data to the national data warehouse. In addition, there is another key function that it does for us, which is the validation of loaded datasets using certain inbuilt algorithms to clean data. So what are the prerequisites that we need when installing DWAPI? For this particular environment, we recommend you should have Ubuntu OS version 16.04. You will need internet to download and update DWAPI and Docker container. You'll also need the MySQL database installed, preferably configured, but you can do the configuration at a later time. You'll also need to download the Docker container. And lastly, you need KenyaEMR to link and pull data from. Okay, so we have indicated that today's training is focused on the Ubuntu environment, but we want to point out that there are other deployment scenarios that are supported by DWAPI. So the first of this is a deployment under the Windows environment. For those who've implemented IQCare before, the typical setup was having IQCare, DWAPI, and Microsoft SQL. All right. In this instance, all 3 would run on Windows, typically on the same PC or sometimes at different hosts, but again, connected over the network. The key requirement was always the .NET Core hosting, DLL, to be available in the Windows environment. The other option under Windows deployment was you would be installing DWAPI on your Windows laptop or Windows desktop, and then connecting to a KenyaEMR instance running in Ubuntu, okay? In this case, you would require DWAPI to run on Windows while the EMR on Ubuntu, and you would still need to set up the Microsoft SQL on your Windows environment to connect to the MySQL on the other side. So those have been the common deployment scenarios that we've used. However, as we are going into this next phase, we realize that we need to emphasize more on this other third scenario, which is a pure Ubuntu deployment. So in this instance, we are using DWAPI installed and running off from Docker container. My colleague Leon is going to talk more about what Docker is. I think at this point, I just want to say that Docker is an application that allows another tool primarily developed for a different OS to be adopted and used in a purely foreign environment. That is all I want to say for now. And in that setup, you need to have KenyaEMR connecting to the Docker with its DWAPI instance and also connected to the MySQL to manipulate the database. Okay, so the decision on which deployment to adopt primarily is a question around what resources you have and what environment primarily is running in your facilities. As I said, as we are all moving into KenyaEMR, it seems plausible that most of us should be running straight from the Ubuntu environment. Okay, so here is a quick highlight of the key configurations you do on DWAPI. This presumes at this point that you will have downloaded Docker, you will have downloaded DWAPI, you will have updated the same, you will have created users and given them rights in order to connect to the EMR and to pull data. So at that particular point in time, there are three things that you need to confirm. This we are going to be taken through by Leon again. You'll have to confirm connection settings on your dashboard. That is the moment you load DWAPI. Number two, you need to complete the EMR configuration settings for KenyaEMR. That is what is appearing alongside over there. And finally, you need to provide database connection variables for you to complete loading and sending data. On navigating and using DWAPI, Kennedy Ogutu is going to take us through the 3 steps of how do you load EMR data, how do you validate records by checking on which records are flagged or rejected in the extraction panel, and then finally he'll be confirming for us how to send data to the data warehouse. So remember at this point, all the 3 key steps are taken for the dockets that are available under DWAPI. Those are HTS, care and treatment, and MPI, the 3 basic ones. So it means you load for MPI, validate everything is fine, and then send. Then you load for care and treatment and do the likewise for HTS. You can see a picture frame of a similar setup. In this instance, you've loaded from KenyaEMR, and you see there's a number of flagged records over here, and the ones that are queued. So if you're satisfied with these, you can send it straight away, but we recommend that you go into the second step of validating, where you export the flagged and rejected records into Excel and use their identities to update on KenyaEMR and then update accordingly. Okay, so once you've sent data to the National Data Warehouse, we just want to remind you that as soon as you complete sending, that data goes into what we call the spot. That is the URL. It allows you to check how many of your, allows you to confirm and verify the number of records that have been loaded successfully. And then once that is done, those records will eventually be refreshed in the National Data Warehouse at the end of the week. So that is a typical setup that we have right now. I don't think there should be any questions for me. Mine is just an overview. So today we have two facilitators. Leon is going to take us through the configuration using Docker, and then Ubuntu is going to take us through the DWAPI navigation. Okay, so I'd like to stop at that point and invite Leon to take it over. Leon?
Yes, thank you, Bernard.
So let me pause share.
Yeah. So good afternoon, guys. Once again, welcome. My name is Leon Lavata with Palladium. I'm just going to take you through DWAPI configuration, just the configuration part, and then we'll take you through the use. I hope you can hear me. Mnanisikia? Ama najisikia peke yangu?
We can hear you.
Ah, thank you so
much. Ongea na sauti.
Oh, sorry. That is better, Mnanisikia? Okay, so I'm just, before I start sharing, I'm just going to give you a brief background of DWAPI. So first of all, DWAPI is just an application that helps us send data from our EMR to the National Data Warehouse. For those of you who might not know, DWAPI stands for Data Warehouse API. And an API is just an application that enables communication between two different systems, that is exchange of data and so on. So as we all know, we have a mandate to be reporting to the National Data Warehouse. So we developed an application that can help us send the data to the National Data Warehouse. So this application that we developed is a .NET based application, and we have systems running on Linux platform. And .NET is a software, is a coding language that is used in Windows. So how can we get, we thought of a way, how can we get a Windows based application to run on a Linux platform? So the best way we could do it is to use Docker. So Docker is just a container that enables you to run foreign applications on other softwares. So for those who are familiar, Docker is like virtual VM. The virtual machine that runs on Windows is equivalent to, Docker is equivalent to that on Linux. So I'm just going to share my screen a bit. Yeah. All those who can see me, say hi. Who can see my screen? Say hi.
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 Hi. Hi, Zavit, eh? Okay.
Hi.
I'm just going to show you how, first of all, I'm back, eh? Sorry for that. I'm just going to take you through the configuration, but I'm just going to show you where you can get an SOP on how to install Docker first of all, and how to install DWAPI on Docker. So the SOP is online. All you have to do is just Google Docker Hub. This is the official Docker website, Docker Hub. Here it is. So once I get to, I hope all of us can see how the official Docker website looks like. Once you get to Docker Hub, you just search for DWAPI. It will give you several options, and you will get KenyaEMR/DWAPI. This is what you select. So once you're here, this is just the SOP. The first step is how to download Docker. It will give you links to download Docker. So we recommend that you download Docker for Ubuntu 16, 64-bit, because that is the operating system that we recommend you use. And how to install Docker. You just run these commands on the terminal. It's simple. Once you've installed Docker, this is how you upgrade your Docker to the latest version of Docker. Then it will show you how to install DWAPI and how, and once DWAPI is upgraded, how to upgrade DWAPI. So this is the initial installation, and this step B is how you upgrade DWAPI. It will also give you the MySQL setup. There's some setup for MySQL that you need to do. It will give you how to do MySQL setup. And since we're using Ubuntu 16, we will be concentrating on MySQL 5.6, which that is the MySQL that Ubuntu 16 runs on. And it will show you how to do the different configurations. It will tell you how to do the different DWAPI configurations, that is creating the DWAPI user and assigning them privileges. Moving on, it will just give you a simple a step on how to start DWAPI and how to restart DWAPI service in case you are doing any troubleshooting. And finally, it does the troubleshooting part where you will be able to view the DWAPI logs and run the DWAPI logs from Docker and view them on your local machine. So basically that's it for that. So once I'm done with the installation, I go to my browser. I'm using a different, because I'm running on a secure ports, I'm using this URL. Oh, sorry, I'm using this DWAPI. Yes, but on your local machine, you will be, instead of this, it will be HTTPS localhost :5753, as it is shown here on the SOP. Once you're done, you've installed DWAPI, just go to your browser, type in HTTPS :// localhost 5753. Now, once you've installed once you've installed DWAPI for the first time and you've launched it on your browser, this is how it looks like when you launch it in your browser. So the first thing you need to know, DWAPI has its own database. So every application has its database where it stores its data. So the data that we send to the national data warehouse comes from the KenyaEMR database. Then it is loaded into the DWAPI database. So we have two databases. We have the KenyaEMR database and we have the DWAPI database. So DWAPI pulls data from the KenyaEMR database, then dumps the data into the DWAPI, into its own database, into the DWAPI database. Then after that, sends the data to the national data warehouse. So the first thing I'm going to show you how to do is how to create the DWAPI database. We've installed the application, but we need to make sure that the database is created. So you just come to the dashboard. This is the landing page. This is the dashboard. Come here, you will get the DWAPI database connection configuration. So because we are using Linux environment, the database provider is MySQL. The server you will input, there are two options. This refers to the server name. And unlike MS SQL, my SQL really doesn't have a server name. So because the server is hosted on the local machine, you will input here the IP address of your local machine or IP address for Docker. So the Docker container that is holding the DWAPI, because we said that DWAPI is installed inside Docker. So this is the IP address for Docker. And how do I get this IP address? Simple, I come to my terminal and type if config. It will give me all the network connections information in my machine. So, for example, this is my IP address because I'm connected to wireless. This is my IP address. So if I can either use this or use this Docker. When I look here, I can see Docker. This is the Docker IP address. So I recommend for us to use Docker because your IP address might keep on changing in regards to the network configuration. So the next time it changes, DWAPI will not be able to see the MySQL server. So Docker IP address is universal to all, and it's usually this. So I just copy this and come and paste it here. Then I go to the ports. My SQL default port is 3306. And user is DWAPI. So from our previous SOP, we saw that there are some MySQL configurations that we were doing. So those MySQL configurations were for creating a DWAPI user in MySQL and giving them a password. So the user will already have been created during the setup and installation of DWAPI. You will have created them. So that is the user that you're going to use here. So the user is DWAPI, and the password, I'll give him the password. I had also put the password DWAPI. Once this is done, all I have to do is verify my server. Once you verified your server, it will tell you that the connection was successful. In case you get any error here, it will be because these configurations settings, you have not put them well. Let me just put a wrong password so that you can see how the error looks like. Let's say it will tell you access denied, user DWAPI at using the password. So it will give you the exact error that it will give you an error and the information on the error. So let me just put in the correct password. After I've done that, I'm going to save. Once you save, you'll be prompted to restart DWAPI in order to effect the changes made to the system setting. So this is how you, this is basically means restarting DWAPI service. So I'll just come to the terminal. I'll come to the terminal, and this is how you restart the DWAPI service. So first of all, because DWAPI is installed inside the Docker container, I think somebody else started sharing their screen. Eh? Hello, I'm back. Can you see me? Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Tuko pamoja, eh?
Kabisa tuko pamoja.
Haya, sawa, tuendelee. So, this is because, as I was saying, yeah, DWAPI is installed inside the container. The name of the container is Docker. I'm going to show you how to, we need to restart the Docker container, then we restart DWAPI. So we are restarting both. So this is how you restart the Docker container. In your terminal, sudo service Docker restart. Prompt you for the password. So it's restarting the container. Takes slightly not more than 2 minutes. So it has already restarted the container. Now I'm going to restart the DWAPI that is inside the container. So this is how you restart the DWAPI. Sudo Docker DWAPI restart. Oh, sorry. It is sudo Docker restart. You start with the command DWAPI. Sorry for that. Sudo Docker restart DWAPI. Takes a few minutes. DWAPI has restarted. I'll go back to my browser and refresh. So we can see the difference. This part has come here. So what was happening during the restarting? Once I'm done with the configurations and I restart DWAPI. Once I've restarted the DWAPI, at that point, the DWAPI database was being created. So I've restarted the service, and when the services restart successfully, the DWAPI database has been created. Remember when we started, we said that DWAPI pulls data from KenyaEMR database and loads it into its own database, into the DWAPI database. And how do we get the DWAPI database? We do the configuration settings, the database, we do configuration settings to the database provider, that is MySQL. Once we've done the configuration settings to the server, we restart the service. During the restart, the DWAPI database is created. Now, just to confirm if the database is created, I will verify database. Connection successful to the database. Remember when we verified server, it told us connection successful to the server. When we verified the database, it said connection successful to database. This shows us that the DWAPI database has been installed. So I save that. Anytime you save anything on the dashboard, for any changes to take effect, you need to restart the DWAPI service. I come back to my terminal and restart sudo service docker restart. Start with Docker. Then I go to DWAPI. Has restarted. I come and refresh my page. Oh, takes a few minutes. First time configuration for DWAPI done. You only need to do this on your first setup. Now DWAPI is set up, database is there. So I need to do configuration to point DWAPI to the database the EMR database that it's going to pull data from. To do that, there's this panel on my left. I come to configuration and I come to EMR settings. Once I'm here, I hope it's clear. Once I'm here, I will see the different EMRs listed that are supported by DWAPI. And for us today, we're interested in KenyaEMR. So I'll come here on this drop down under actions, besides actions, and select KenyaEMR as the default EMR. Once I've done that, KenyaEMR, you'll get information that KenyaEMR was set as the default successfully. So I will come here. We have the database protocols. So from here, I need to direct DWAPI where KenyaEMR is hosted. So KenyaEMR is hosted if it's on a different machine or if it's on the host machine. I hope you've seen what I've done. I've just selected on the edit icon under action. Okay. Now it will bring me to the database connection page or box. So at this part, this is where we give connection where the KenyaEMR database is hosted. Remember the first one, we were creating a connection between the local MySQL server and DWAPI. Now we are making a connection between DWAPI and the KenyaEMR database. So the DBMS, the database management system, still remains to be MySQL. And a host, I will input the IP address of the server that is hosting KenyaEMR. So for me, for instance, the KenyaEMR is hosted on the local machine, that is this server. So I can either put in my IP address or Docker's IP address that I had shown you earlier. So I'll just input the IP address. I'll use Docker. But if your KenyaEMR is hosted on another machine, you need to input the IP address of the other machine. The port still remains to be 3306. That is my SQL default port. User is DWAPI. And the password is DWAPI. Once I'm done with that, I verify to tell me that the connection was successful. If it's successful, then I save. Once I've saved, it will bring me back to this page, and you will see that KenyaEMR has changed its color to red. This is just to show you that the bold red color, this is the default this is the default EMR that you have chosen. If, for example, I had chosen IQK as the default EMR, IQK would have been red in color. So once you're done with that, you are ready to upload your data on the dockets page. So I think I'm done with that. Unless there are any questions, I can hand over to Ubuntu to continue. Thank you.
Hello. I hope you guys are able to hear me.
Yes, Ubuntu.
Yes, you're able to hear me.
Yeah, that's better
I
now.
can hear you.
Okay, thank you so much, Leon, for that session. I hope everyone now is conversant with the configuration of DWAPI. I would want to go to the next session whereby you'll be preparing data for transmission and the National Data Warehouse. I know it's an afternoon and would want to go very fast, being a Friday and adults' priorities tend to change. Let me just share my screen.
That let or.
Are you able to see my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. The configuration, after doing the configuration, is either on Docker, that is like and Express. The process I'm going to do is more or less the same. So I think you'll be okay, and we are good to go. So after the configuration, what we need to do is to extract data, we do validations, we do the cleaning before we send that particular data to the national data warehouse. This process is important in that during extractions, some records will be flagged, rejected, and if in any case you don't clean it and send it like that, you will have less data sent to the national data warehouse, unlike what you have in your KenyaEMR, and that is why there are always variances between what you have at the facility and what is there at the national data warehouse. So you have to clean your data first before you send it to that national data warehouse. Hope you're together. So we go to dockets. This is where we have we are going to after loading data from EMR, we'll be having dockets, that is scan treatment, MPI, that is master patient index, and HIV testing services that we'll be able to go through. So when you click on load from EMR, first what happens, the database is cleaned, you're seeing it as clear, the database, and load data afresh. Meaning that if in any case there are any changes that you've made to your data, that is what will be loaded so that you have the most updated data uploaded to the national data warehouse. So when you're done, you will see the message down there that load was successful. So from our window, we are able to see the column for extract status. We have the number of records found for each and every extract, the number that have been loaded, how many have been flagged, that is column B, and then column C, that is in red, they are color coded. How many have been rejected, how many have been queued, meaning they are ready to be sent. The ones that are queued are the ones that will be sent to the national data warehouse. From my screen, if you look at all patients, and found, the number of records found are 215, loaded 209, flagged as 6, rejected 6, and queued 209 that are going to be sent if in any case you don't clean your data. Meaning what you're going to send to the data warehouse will be less 6, and that is why we have the number that were found from the database to be 15, and what you're going to send is 209, meaning 6 are not going to be sent due to one reason or the other. That is what you're going to go through. So I hope you're together up to that point. From the Docker side, you can see that care treatment is what has been loaded from EMR. So if in any case you want to load the master patient index or HIV testing services, you have to select any of them. So when you select master patient index, you'll be able to load, and also HTS services, you'll also be able to load. So we'll go through all of them. It's the same process. So that is all about data extraction, extracting data from the KenyaEMR database to the DWAPI database. We'll be moving to the next step whereby we'll be doing the validation, that is validation and data cleaning. When you scroll just down there, you'll see a key that will show you the color codes and what they mean. Okay, yeah, so you'll be able to go through that. Under extraction details, We can check on the extracts. If you look at the all patients, the number of rejected are 6. If you go to ART, none was rejected. Patient baselines, 6 were flagged and also rejected. The pharmacy, patient pharmacy, we have 12 rejected. Patient visits, 12 rejected. So we'll be able to go through all these and check as to why these 6 records were rejected. So when you go to all patients under extract details, when you click all patients, then we'll be able to check on the validation summary that will give us the reason as to why the 6 records were rejected. When you click on validation summary, you'll be able to see that there are records, the number of records that have been rejected. So for you to navigate and narrow down, you'll be able to export the same to Excel, and then from there, you'll be able to analyze and verify if any case that is the true status, and can also help you in doing data cleaning to your EMR system before you send your data to the national data warehouse. So we can export these. When you click on export, you'll have your CSV file downloaded. When you click on it, let me just expand this. I hope we are able to see this. Are you able to see?
Yes.
Very good. So as you can see, the patient ID column is empty. So the summary tells us the reason why those particular records have been flagged and are not going to be sent to the national data warehouse. So the summary tells us that these 6 records are missing patient ID. So the summary tells us patient ID required. So the field that is affected is patient ID. What is supposed to be done, it is required, meaning it has to be updated before the records are sent to the national data warehouse. Are we together? We can check on another one. When you check on ART patients and ART patient validation summary, we don't have any. And if you can confirm from our extracts, ART patients, all of them were queued. There was none flagged or rejected. Let's look at the patient baselines that is having 6 lines flagged. Click on patient baselines and patient baselines validation summary. Hope you are able to see. Are we together? You can export the same. When you open, it will give you a summary as to why. Okay, it tells us that these records are missing patient ID. That is why they have been flagged and they're not going to be sent. So this is very important that you ensure that your data is clean before it's sent to the national data warehouse. So different databases have different issues, and depending on what is identified and flagged by the DWAPI algorithms, will be able to help you to clean your data. First, it will help you to clean your EMR and also ensure that all your valid records are sent to the national data warehouse. Remember, from the national data warehouse, that is where people will be seeing how your facility is doing in terms of service delivery. And if in any case you don't have the correct data, then that might distort information extracted from the same. Are we together up to that point?
Yes.
Iko swali? So we can also check on the patient pharmacy that is having 12 flagged. You have the list here. You can export the same. Okay. Are we together? So these records are missing the patient ID. That is why they have been flagged. So I think that is all about the validation, and data cleaning is using the data that you have exported in Excel or CSV file to clean your EMR before you send your data to the national data warehouse. So that is all about that is scan treatment. We have the MPI. This is very important. This helps in checking on duplicates. So we are also going to look at the duplication of records that you have in your EMR. So the master patient index helps in terms of when you all guys send your data to the national data warehouse, the master patient index will be able to help identify duplicate records in the database. So you can load the master patient index data. Will tell me that 209 have been found, they're loaded and also queued. So none of the 209 have been flagged so far. So this one is now ready to be sent to the national data warehouse. When you click send to send to warehouse, you'll be able to send the same, and you will receive the confirmation message that it has been sent successfully, the way we are also loading successfully. A point of note, you only need internet while sending data to the natural data warehouse. Loading data from EMR and all those other processes that Leon started with, you don't need internet connection. You only need internet while sending data to the national data warehouse. That is the point whereby you need internet connectivity. So under patient index, well, let's check for duplicates. Remember, you can use this to clean your EMR at any given time. You don't just use it during the time you only want to send it to the national data warehouse, but you can always run it routinely so that it helps you to clean your EMR. You don't wait until the end of the month or any other time when you want to send data to the warehouse is when you use DWAPI. DWAPI should be a daily tool that you can always run and help you to clean your EMR. So from the master patient duplicate summary, we have records that have been flagged as duplicates. Let's export them and see how we can use the information to clean our EMR. So when you export, you'll have your CSV file, which is you can open using Excel. Okay. So from the information that we have here, these records have been flagged as duplicates. And it's always good that if in any case you are making any correction or doing data cleaning, ensure you have the physical file where you'll have the correct and accurate information to change your EMR. Are we together? So as you can see, record around number 2, number 3, we have, you can see the patient having the same names, the first, middle, last name, and the serial number. Under serial number, they are different. If you look at the phone number, it's the same. Gender, the same. Date of birth is the same. Okay, so under this Jaro Winkler score, the higher the score, the the high probability that those particular records are duplicates. Okay, so you can get the files, you can use the serial number, which is the unique patient number here. You can take these, get the files, and then confirm if that is the same patient you're working with. And in any case they're duplicates, then we have the merge feature in KenyaEMR that you can use to merge your records. If you look at this other one, so Mwangi is appearing almost how many times here? Almost 4 or 5 times. And then we have Lilian Wangari. Lilian Wangari, if you look at the serial number or the unique patient number is the same, the names are the same, the phone number is the same, date of birth is the same. So the most important thing is to get this particular file and confirm if in any case they're duplicates. And if in any case they're duplicates, you can use the information that you have here because now you have the unique identifier. Go and search for the patient using the file. When you have the file with you, make the necessary corrections to the EMR, and then you repeat the process of loading data from EMR again before you send your data to the data warehouse. I hope I'm clear up to that point. So that is how to deduplicate your data. When you load data from EMR, the master patient index, you'll be able to see the total number of records that have been flagged as duplicates. So it's upon the user get the files and confirm if they are indeed duplicates. And if in any case they are duplicates, use the merge feature in KenyaEMR to merge the patient. Up to that point, is there any question? If there's none, the same process of extracting and treatment master patient index is the same process we use for HIV testing services. Just load. My DB doesn't have data, HCS data, the DB that I'm working in, that is why it has loaded 0 records. But in any case, you have HTS services in your facility and use the tablet of or EMR to capture the information, then you'll be able to load the same, and then after loading, you can send to the national data warehouse after doing the cleaning. The process of cleaning is the same for all of them. Up to that point, iko swali?
Hello?
If there's no any other question, then we can go to the last.
Hello?
Ajuang,
Hi.
you can.
Hi.
Yes.
Ogutu, there is a question. I just can't tell who it is. Is that Linus? Please go ahead.
Hello?
Yeah, go ahead, please.
Yeah, I had a question, just an observation.
Yeah.
When you are loading from KenyaEMR, go back, at least you can go back so that I can see where there were, yeah, there.
It's an automatic process. You can't stop it midway.
Oh, okay, there were clients, when you were loading,
Yeah.
actually there were clients who were ART patients.
Yeah.
There were clients who were found to be 303, and the loaded were 199, then flagged was 0. I don't know whether it has changed. It has changed.
Which one?
The other time, the flagged was 0, but the record that were found were 2 or 3. So I was asking where the 4 went to. But now I can see they have now come to flagged. It is now okay.
Okay.
Okay, are you satisfied?
Yes, I am.
Okay, okay. Any other question?
I have a question.
Yes.
A week ago, we pushed data to National Data Warehouse.
Yeah.
And all the records were pushed, none were flagged. And but we later got another report, a summary report from our SI that our TX current reported last month, the one that the KenyaEMR gives, was less by 18 clients, which of which the number were discordant by 18 files. But when we pushed data to DWAPI, 0 records were flagged. I repeated the process, 0 records were flagged. So how do I know where the discrepancy is?
Okay. I know, Ken, you are going to show us the spot within the data warehouse, just to show. Hello, Ken.
Leon is handling that, the spot, verifying your data has been sent successfully on spot.
Okay, so this is to the lady, Linus. Your question relates to the numbers you are getting on the spot and then to eventually on data warehouse. So Leon is going to take us through there. However, I think what I would want to remark is that should you find such a discrepancy, you are free to call our service desk so that they can have the data use team make a special follow-up of your case to find out why that is happening. If your DWAPI is loading everything cleanly, then those same numbers should appear in the data warehouse. So unless there's something else, then we can always ask them to track that among the extracts that reach them. Okay, so I think it also relates to the next demonstration of the sports and the data warehouse.
Okay, it will be quite helpful because we were told to go and go. Yes?
Okay, I think Joan has stated very well. In any case, you have a variance in terms of what is the national data warehouse versus what you sent, and none of your records were flagged, then just call service desk. Then you can engage our data use team who are handling national data warehouse and try to troubleshoot and see where the records have been dropped and why. So it has happened, and we have always worked around to sort out the issues. So you can always call service desk even in case you have any issues.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Just
let me...
Ken.
Yes.
Yeah. Can I go ahead? Just to interrupt Kidogo.
Yes.
Yeah, on the issue that has just been raised, you'll find that if you check that very same on the spot.
Yes.
Hello?
Yeah.
I'm getting.
Yeah, if you check on the spot, you'll find that the number actually, let me say like the number is 218. On the spot, you'll actually see that it's 218 that was sent, records, 218 records. But then there is this other bit of the National Data Warehouse portal. When you log in, and then maybe probably you want to look into the records, the TXCAR for that particular facility. I mean, the number of records that were sent, you find that there is a variance. So I don't know whether there is another validation that is done on that other end that makes this variance to occur or what.
because on the spot, you actually find the exact figure that you sent. That is what you will see. But now on the other end, on the portal itself now, you'll get something different.
Okay, thank you so much for your question. And I agree, it happens. And there are no validations that are happening at the warehouse, because all validations are happening here when you are cleaning your data, and you're supposed to get what you send. And if in any case you encounter certain issues, kindly get back to us through our toll-free line, and be able to expedite and follow up. Okay.
Unaweza jibu the swali about the extra validations on data warehouse? Can you add something? Okay, so sorry about that. Just asked one of my colleagues to add something about the further validations that are done on the data warehouse side. However, like I indicated, Leon is going to show us the numbers expected on the spot, the ones received, and how it eventually shows up on the data warehouse side. So Mariri, kindly update us on the current extra validations that are done on the data warehouse side.
Okay, thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. So I think on the warehouse, it goes further than what is done at the facility. So I think one of the key things that is currently being worked towards is to support the duplication. So via the MPI index, currently this is undergoing testing, but we have noticed that records sometimes still pass the facility stage and are uploaded as duplicates. So we are working towards doing that validation and flagging and removing duplicates from the warehouse. So eventually this is going to work not just for data from one facility. In a scenario where you could have a client maybe registered in multiple facilities. So eventually we want to have the MPI working towards being able to flag such clients as the data is uploaded from multiple sites. So I think what you've seen there is a Jaro-Winkler score that basically looks at the indicators for a particular patient. So the same algorithm is now applied within the warehouse, basically for that. I think for the rest, the KenyaEMR treatment and the master patient index, and the HIV testing services. So we still analyze further the data even as it gets to the warehouse. I think initially it was not possible to send data that had particular issues, but we found that that was resulting in issues, especially when it comes to people trying to match what they sent and what actually gets to the warehouse. So we allowed data to be sent to the warehouse. Actually, the only reason that data will not be sent is if it's missing identifiers. So in the warehouse, we go ahead and basically go through these other indicators to ensure that proper data is being presented at the end of the day. So I think that should suffice for that. We can proceed. Thank you.
Thanks, Mariri. Is there any other question before we go into the short demonstration on the spot and the warehouse? I see some which have been answered on the chat. Unless there's something else that is burning, I would like to ask Leon if you're ready.
Yeah, I'm ready. Yeah.
Okay, take it away.
Okay. Thank you for that. I hope right now mnaweza nisikia vizuri. Mnanisikia?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So I'm just going to show us about the spots. So at the end of the day, once the data the validations have been done, the data has been sent to the National Data Warehouse. We want to know the spot helps us to see, has the data really gone? The data that we've sent, has it gone to the National Data Warehouse? So The acronym SPOT means single point of truth. SPOT, single point of truth. Huyo ndo msema kweli, yeah? So I'm just going to share my screen and show you how to access SPOT. I hope you can see me. You can see, okay. Now, for me to access SPOT, I'm going to show you the URL, the SPOT URL. So, to access SPOT, I will go to data dot KenyaEMR.org /4700. So it's taking a few minutes to load, but this is now the single point of truth. Once you send your data from the from your DWAPI in the facility, it should first of all hit the SPOT, then it is queued to get into the national data warehouse. So anytime you send data you want to see if it went, just log into this. You come to this website and you can be able to see. It usually takes around a minute to show up here. It doesn't take long. For example, I can see the latest one is from Migori, that is Uriri Health Center, and it was sent 4 minutes ago. Anytime you send your data, it should show up here immediately. You can just search by the county or facility. You can search for a facility. Somebody to give me their facility to search gani? Unanisikia?
Nyacheki.
Nyacheki. Nyacheki. We can see that it was loaded yesterday. When you just start writing in a, it fills itself. I had someone from Emuhaya. This was done. This was done a month ago. So this was done a month ago. So it is just quite simple. I can say, let me have a look at the county. Niseme Kisumu. It will give me all the facilities in Kisumu County, or I can even go my partner, select the partner. You can filter as any way you would wish, like by EMR and so on. So this is basically when you send your data, just make sure you've accessed the website, have a look at it, make sure your data is there and that the patients are correctly there. If your data does not hit the spot, kindly raise the alarm as soon as possible so that we can know the reason why it does not hit the spot. So that's what for you. So I'm just going to briefly show you how the National Data Warehouse looks like. So the URL to the National Data Warehouse is dwh.nascop.org. So the refresh of the tables in the National Data Warehouse happens once a week. That is every Sunday. Yeah. So when if you, for example, send your data today, it will not automatically it will not automatically appear on the National Data Warehouse today. It will appear after the refresh. That happens every Sunday. If you send your data today, we advise you to just check on it on the following week, that is from Monday henceforth. So the data is usually, the tables are usually refreshed every Sunday. So when you get to this is the landing page of the National Data Warehouse, the homepage. From here, I can be able to select the county, sub-county, facility, and treatment partner that I want to see their data. So the data that we have in the National Data Warehouse, as you can see right here, we have 803,291 clients, active clients on ART. So what you need to know, the National Data Warehouse is like the data here is live. That is why we insist on uploading, at least on a monthly basis, because it is not aggregated data like DHIS, just in the data at the end of the month. The data is live. That means that when a client's PCA reaches and we do not see another visit there, the client is dropped on the National Data Warehouse. It is live. If somebody is allowed to follow up in the facility, even on the National Data Warehouse is allowed to follow up. If a missed appointment in the facility, even in the National Data Warehouse, is a missed appointment. So that is why we insist on you guys uploading, because you might take time to upload. You might take quite some time to upload, and when your data drops in the National Data Warehouse. So I will just show you like how to search. For example, tulikuwa tumetumia facility gani Nyacheki. Nyacheki, I think is in Kisii. Yeah? I can drill down to Kisii and I will look for the facility Nyacheki. So from the data warehouse, I can see that Nyacheki has 477 active on ART clients as of today. Now, there is some information here. Nyacheki, this is just information about the facility, the county, and the partner supporting it. And the last day a clinical or pharmacy encounter was created or updated on the EMR was 29th May 2020. So what this means is that the latest pharmacy or clinical encounter we have in the facility was as 29th May. So if you want to know that, the data you've uploaded was up to date, you come and look here under this facility information. You might get that you're uploading a database to the National Data Warehouse. You're uploading data, but you're uploading stale data. So this is one of the reasons that we've seen that that your data is not growing in the data warehouse is that you might be uploading stale data. Remember, anytime before you upload data to the National Data Warehouse or load it to DWAPI, you need to make sure that your ETL tables are refreshed. So, look, hey, could you kindly mute? Let's just mute. Thank you. So you need to make sure that you're not uploading stale data. You might be uploading stale data that is not up to date. When you come to Spot, you see that I uploaded my data, but the data that you uploaded is still, it's not up to date data. Your data in the National Data Warehouse will keep going down because the National Data Warehouse looks at encounters. So apart from that, we have more dashboards. We have the viral cascade of the active on ART. This just shows that 477 clients active on ART. 93% of these are eligible for viral load. 89% of 477 have viral load in the last 12 months. And 372 of the 477 are suppressed at 12 months. That is 94%. So you can just basically have a look at your facility, the county, just visit the page and be familiar with it. So apart from this, we also have the reporting rates. You can have an overview of this. There are several tabs here. So this just shows us the reporting rates of the uploads. How are the uploads going on? So we have the expected uploads. Get the out of 1,149, we got 658 uploads. That is up to June 2020. And recency of reporting of PKVs, that is, we only got patient key values at 23%, that is 262. So this, you can just come here and have a look. When was the how are you performing? How is your county performing in regards to uploads to the data warehouse? We also have some published areas. We have some 2015 cohort. These are just some analysis that we've done. So you can just have a look at these pages, these links. I'm not going to go through all of them because of time. And familiarize yourself with the National Data Warehouse. Get the link. We do not have, it's not a must you log in. You do not have that for now. We remove the login. So anybody, this is open source, anybody can log into the National Data Warehouse and have a look at it and familiarize yourself with it. Yeah, I think I'm done with that for now, and unless there are any questions.
Hi, Leon. Leon.
Yes.
Could you just also show them how to view HTS data in Spot?
Okay. Thank you. So we have two spots. We have the and treatment spot, which is this. That is data.kenyahms.org:4700. So we also have another spot for HTS. To access this, it's just the same URL, but the port is different. So I'll just change this to 5700. So you upload your HTS data, and treatment and HTS, you need to make sure that you zip the spot first of all. I think my internet has issues kidogo. See. Can anyone access? Just try accessing data.kenyahms.org:5700. Has anyone accessed it?
Yes, Leon, actually, ishakuja.
Sorry.
So actually, it do take some times when you try to load it, the page compared to the care and treatment page.
Okay.
Yeah, I've noticed that sometimes.
So this is it. This is your HTS port. So when you send your HTS data, you also need to make sure that it has hit these ports before it reaches the national data warehouse. Pamoja.
Yes, Leon, tuko pamoja. That is from my end. But I just have a concern.
Yes.
Just a quick one. There is a facility that is doing both, that is doing EHTS as well.
Yes.
So this facility is called SARO.
Yes.
So SARO pushed its data in the course of this month. And if you check the spot, is actually reads, there is SARO. You can search SARO.
Yes, there.
You'll get SARO 17th of June.
Yes.
Now, when you get to National Data Warehouse, it reads that the data for SARO that was pushed is the data way back 2019. That is for HTS. However, for the care and treatment, it's as recent as this month, the month of June. So the question is, why would the HTS data be stale while the care and treatment be or reflect recency? I mean, being most recent. And yet the ETL is one that if you recreate it, does the same thing for both the tables in the database.
Yeah. So I think we would want to do more investigation on that. That shouldn't be the case. Yeah, that shouldn't be the case. Maybe we can touch base and find out where the problem is.
Okay, thank you.
Any other question?
Okay, thank you, Leon. So I assume there is no other question. I'd like to just confirm that brings us to the end of our training for today. There will be future trainings, the virtual trainings, as soon as we start the mass rollout of new KenyaEMR sites. There will be subsequent trainings for those. So I think we look forward to having you in the future. Should there be need for some specific trainings, please feel free to reach out to Palladium and let us know where there are gaps. Then we would be happy to respond, okay? Whether it's at the partner level or say at the county level. I'm sure we do not want to go all the way to facility level at this point. So thanks once again. I'd like to recognize the participation by all our partners who were invited. I noted that we have people who have purely implemented KenyaEMR for a long time, so this was a refresher for them. And we also had people who are just onboarding to KenyaEMR. So we want to welcome you to the KenyaEMR family. Very soon it will be one platform for the entire country. We look forward to having that. As some of you already know, we are in the process of carrying out migrations. These trainings are aimed at helping us smoothen the use of this new system that is coming to you if you are changing platforms from IQCare to KenyaEMR. So I know we've got so many partners, I don't want to recognize them one by one. I also want to recognize the strong participation that we've had over the 2 days. I hope the training has been useful. If I repeat, if there has been any gap that you note, like the ones that have been reported by Duncan, please feel free to share a direct email on the contacts that were shared yesterday, or just call us on the toll-free line. If not, refer the matter to your supporting partner. They know how to take it up, okay? The reporting and the DWAPI training purely aims for us to make sure that our reporting is accurate and is up to date. So we hope as you move to implement what you've been taught, you'll ensure that you are validating your data, you'll ensure that your reporting is accurate, and you'll make sure that you are uploading to the National Data Warehouse at least once every month as guided. So again, thank you everyone. Thank you partners, thanks for the users and the facility, and also to the KenyaEMR staff who have facilitated. Frida, Kezia on the line, Mariri, Leon, and Ogutu. Thanks everyone. I'd like to close it at this point. I'm sure we'll be seeing each other soon online. Thanks so much. Goodbye.
Bye, Agate.